Hello, welcome to my channel. I am here up at my property, as you can see over there, staying in my trailer for the weekend. And this weekend I wanted to work on my jump line. I did a little bit of work on it last weekend, but this weekend I want to actually start riding it. So when I got here on Friday, I found that big tree had fallen down across the trail. So I cut it out with the chainsaw. And then the starting point is back there, and then you come down this trail, there's a little pump roller, and then you come in to what used to be a table, and then there used to be a jump there. But what I've done is I've been building up the lip and the landing on it to make it more of a height type based jump rather than a distance jump. Problem is it's still like a bit too short, and I just don't have enough dirt to make it longer unless I want to turn it into a big gap jump, which I don't really want to do. So I'm going to continue working on this, and I have an idea. So I'm going to continue taking dirt from this thing and get rid of this thing because it was kind of useless. And I'm building up the landing and making the landing bigger. So I'm going to continue building up the landing. I'm not going to worry so much about the launch, and I'll show you why. So I brought the MTB Hopper with me this weekend, and I have the extension. The orange parts at the bottom are the extension for it, so I can get it pretty high. So I'm going to actually use the MTB Hopper as my launch and build up a big landing and see how that works. I'm thinking this is going to be the ideal situation for this jump that I'm building, because I really want something where I can use the MTB Hopper to pop and have a nice landing. So far, when I did my video about a week ago using the hopper ramp for the takeoff and the hopper ramp for the landing, I realized the landing is too narrow and too small, especially if I want to try any tricks or anything like that. So I want to make a big landing, and then I'll use the hopper ramp to launch, and we'll just see how that works. I got both my BMX bike and my Salsa Rustler, so I'll probably try both bikes on it, since the hopper transition is perfect for mountain bikes and BMX bikes. Cool. So I'm going to work on that, see how it goes. All right, I have the hopper ramp set up, and it looks really sweet. So it's not a whole lot farther extended from the original takeoff. I took that little lip off of there, and the main reason I wanted to do that was I wanted to use that dirt and everything because I want this to be a case pad. So you can see there's a big tire mark in there. That was not me, that was Kid. So here's his first and then second attempt, and he was just gauging speed. So his first attempt he cased on the top. Oh yeah. Definitely glad we have the case pad. Oh, that got a little steez, which is exactly what we wanted to do this setup for. Is, you know, if we want to land short, we can, and it's really safe. So I think the landing could actually be made bigger, but for now, we'll just keep it like this. Give it some tries. I'll first try it on my Salsa, and then maybe eventually my BMX bike. This is looking pretty sweet. Also, just in case you're wondering, if you look at the MTB Hopper, see all the adjustments? So right now, I kind of mellowed it and did the little like transition, and then made the top part not so kicky to kind of send us more that way. But we can change all that if we want it to be more kicky, or we could slide it up and that'll automatically make it more kicky. I mean, there's so many options here, and that's what makes this cool. And this is something I can experiment with and keep changing the hopper until I get it the way that I want it to be. So pretty stoked on this idea. Yeah. Oh, and I'll show you the landing here. Still got more dirt here to work with, but the landing is here, so you can kind of get an idea with that. And it's funny because this looks like a big landing, but it's not as big as you think it is once you realize how much that can launch you. So here we go. This is really good for me to practice my pop, which is what I always talk about. Okay, it is the next day, and I've been working on jumping this with my mountain bike and the MTB Hopper ramp, um, which is the videos you just watched. Now I'm gonna take the hopper ramp away and try it with my BMX bike. One of the issues is the ride up is kind of soft and it's really hard to get good speed. Easier to get speed on the mountain bike because I can be in the right gear. It's got bigger tires, full suspension, so it smooths out the bumps, all that stuff, right? BMX bike, it's gonna be a little more challenging, so that's why I'm gonna make it short to start with and do a few jumps and then see if I want to put the hopper back or not. But one of the things I'm really working on is the pop. And to get the pop, you got to hold on to the row as your rear wheel comes throughout the transition. I tend to, after my front wheel leaves the launch, I tend to start doing the anti-row too soon. And watch my hand. If I do the row, I go up and keep going up and then anti-row up here. If I do the anti-row too soon, watch my wrist here, the back of my hand. When I push the front, the back wheel comes up, so it leaves the ramp too early and I'm not riding out the ramp. I talk about that all the time. I'm pretty good at doing that on smaller ramps, but the bigger, steeper the ramp gets, I tend to start my anti-row too soon. The reason I do that is I'm looking at the landing and I get up there and then I'm like, okay, I got to start aiming for the landing. So I do it too soon and shoot for the landing. I call it racer jumping. I'm trying to just make the distance and make it to the landing instead of pop high. So I'm working on that. I feel like I got a couple of pretty good ones in there that I'm riding out the ramp and getting a little bit better height. And I'm clearing the jump, like just barely. My back tire, I can see all the marks, is hitting right at the very top. So just clearing it. And that's about as far as I can go. I'm pedaling pretty hard. So time for me to try a few on my BMX bike. I may or may not film it. It depends on if I have a success or not. If it seems to be pretty successful on my BMX bike, then I'll film it a couple of jumps with it. Oh, that was dumb. Too fast, I think. So that's what happens when you go too fast and you just mistime the takeoff. So I basically mistimed the takeoff. I guess, I did just switch from my mountain bike to my BMX bike, which is always a little dangerous. I have a much longer transition and run out with the MTB Hopper, and this is shorter. And with the higher gearing on my BMX bike, I don't have that judgment of speed like I did on my mountain bike. So yeah, I just kind of went off, and you can see that my back wheel got kicked in the air, and I landed front wheel first and was a little kittywampus and just went sliding to the side, and it was a no pain crash, so that's always good. And I'm glad I crashed before the tree, which is also always good. So all right, I'm gonna try this a couple more times, a little slower. I'll gradually build my way up rather than just that time I just went all out at it thinking I had to go super fast. Bad idea. All right, let's slow it down a little bit, work on my technique. And just as I thought, the jump is too short for that. Maybe I'm going to try that again. I'm going to try to pull more up and see if that'll help. That felt a little better. Okay, so that is a wrap for this video. I think this is working. These are steeper, more kicky style transitions, and that's the thing I struggle with. On trails like Winds here in Cuyuna and some of these other jumps, there's a nice tabletop in bobsled now. Those jumps are nice. The way that the takeoff is, they're not kickers like this. They're nice floaters, and I send so nicely over those because they're more conducive to how I'm used to launching. But on these kind of lips where you're trying to go more up than distance, I struggle to get that height. And as you can see in these videos, I'm getting high enough to clear the jump, but I'm not popping like I want to. But I'm starting to understand it. I'm starting to develop a little bit more muscle memory, and it's just going to take practice, you know. It's kind of funny because I do turn 55 in a couple weeks, and here I am trying to learn to get pop. That initial video of Cade jumping, I think he's like 16 years old or something like that. So like he can pop, like, but he's young and he understands it, and that's kind of what he grew up with, right? So it's very interesting. It's just an interesting dynamic to watch him hit it and just pop, get some stees, land, whatever, and then I'm struggling to just get that pop, right? So I'll get there. It just takes a lot more practice. I really do appreciate your support for my channel. Please like and subscribe. Peace. Oh, and yes, I am absolutely having fun out here.